Greetings, citizen. Have you heard the news? The Oblivion remaster's out. So yes, I'm going to be talking a little bit about this because I loved the original game. I got about 800 hours plus on it. I know it inside out. I can quote many things. Yes, I'm not very proud of the fact that I've got basically a full month of game time in the game. And yes, I was as surprised as anyone to see Bethesda, that's the one, just drop this game out of the blue. And I've got some things to say because many of you might not know that there is an alternative to this that I think will be better. And I want people to hold off from spending their money and giving it to Bethesda, who quite frankly don't deserve it. And just hear me out, because I know full well how much people want to play a new Elder Scrolls game, or, you know, if you're a fan of Oblivion and played it before, how much you want to revisit it because it's such a cozy, wonderful game. Skyrim didn't capture the nice, sort of peaceful, cozy, familiar sort of European mythology style vibe that Oblivion had. There's something about it that feels, to my British mind, it's like having a cup of tea or having a warm blanket. It's the psychological equivalent of that. And so yes, I understand if you really, really want to buy this game, but allow me to introduce you to Skyblivion, which is a community project of, you know, a massive effort of hundreds, if not thousands of people working together to create a mod for Skyrim, whereby not only can you be in Skyrim, obviously, but you can go to the world of Oblivion, and it basically has remade the entire game, and that is going to be releasing at some point this year. And I've written some notes just to make sure I don't do them dirty here. It's worth mentioning as well, the attention to detail and the passion that has gone into this mod is quite honestly astounding. You can see that the adoration of this game is so present in the people that have volunteered their time to work on it. And they've turned the map into 9 distinct biomes, and everything is unique. They've recreated many of the locations based on the original concept art rather than the actual original game. And so what they've done is they've mitigated some of the limitations of the early 2000s technology, or probably late 90s technology, that Oblivion was developed with. And they've realized the original concepts and expanded some of the places whilst keeping things very faithful. There's plenty of footage out there. I'll just click through this whilst it's muted just to show you. You know, you can see, it's an update video, but you can see that they've kept things somewhat faithful, but it just looks better. It looks more similar to Skyrim because, of course, it's a mod of Skyrim, but they've put so much polish into it, and that, you know, look at this. This in particular, it looks like an alien ruin with a bunch of redwood trees. That looks much better than anything you would find in Skyrim or Oblivion, and you could play both in the same game. And I think they've done pretty much all of the quests already. They've even got, I think they've got all the original music, plus they've recorded 20 other tracks. If I remember rightly as well, they've paid thousands of voice actors to do some voice acting, although I imagine that they've kept some of the original voice actors in for, you know, nostalgia purposes. But they've tried to remake it and turn it into a much better game than it was, rather than what the company that Bethesda has hired, Virtuous, I think, they're Singapore-based. They remastered it for them. It's basically the original game engine with Unreal Engine 5 sort of tacked on to do the graphics. So it's basically just a £50 reskin. Like, lots of the mods and glitches are still in the game, and we'll be looking at some of those. But all of the quests are polished in this mod, and I think that the quality will be much, much higher because they've had so many people working on it over the course of nearly 15 years now. And I would say, wait for this. It's only going to be a couple of months, probably. It's coming out this year. But I think the quality will be much better, and you don't have to pay £50 or $60 or whatever it's going to be to Bethesda, who quite frankly are helping run the gaming industry into the ground. So what else is there? There is a drawback to this mod. You might be able to have Skyrim and Oblivion in the same game with the same character and travel between them, which is amazing and what everyone would want. I think the only way you could do that sort of thing is if you play Elder Scrolls Online, but the gameplay of that is very MMO-esque and not as fun as, you know, the Elder Scrolls everyone loves, even though I've played those quite a lot as well. However, I think the DLC will be tackled once the game has released, and they've said as much, and I think it'll be done relatively quickly, because things like Knights of the Nine and those other ones, other than the Shivering Isles, I think you've got lots of the current assets that you can reuse. It'll just be a matter of redoing some quests. So it might even be a matter of months after the mod comes out that the DLC comes out, which I think for most people is an acceptable wait time. I imagine the Shivering Isles might be a bit more difficult, but also it's one of those ones where if you're relying on volunteers, I think a lot of people will be very keen to work on the Shivering Isles, and so I could see this being one of those things that might be quicker than you would imagine. But who knows? But I'm just putting this on your radar because I think it's going to be better. I think it's going to be a much better game. You don't have to pay for it. The only criteria is you own Oblivion and you own the Skyrim Special Edition and the DLCs for both of them, I think. Which I think most people do. You can get the Elder Scrolls Oblivion with all the DLC, the Game of the Year edition or whatever it's called these days. That's cheap as chips. This is, you know, probably less than £5, $8. And most people own Skyrim. The Skyrim Special Edition's pretty cheap. It's much cheaper than the Oblivion remaster on its own. And so this is a more of a budget option as well, I suppose, even if you don't own the games like I do already. I mean, you should own the games, they're very good. But to now, I've talked about this, tried to sell you on it. Now for some memes and a bit of fun, shall we? Lots of people have been talking about how they've tried to milk Skyrim for all it's worth, and they've realised that, okay, people aren't going to part with their money anymore, now to Oblivion. People have been pointing out as well that Todd Howard plays a demon prince of underhanded deals, swapping items for great fortunes. That is, of course, Clavicus Vile. The fact you bought Skyrim 3 times and are about to buy Oblivion for the 3rd time is unrelated. He knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Old Todd. Plays a Daedric prince of deals and then tries to sell you the same product 3 times over. He has got the horse armour again. Here he is as the Vault-Tec salesman, making people buy the horse armour for a 2nd time. Yes, Todd will milk you of your money and you will give it to him because you're all foolish, but don't do that. I really want to play the Oblivion remaster. I'm not going to, because there is a thing more important than money, and that is called principles. And you shouldn't give them your money because they are milking it. It shouldn't be $50, especially if you already own the game. And of course, it is top of the Steam charts because why wouldn't it be? It's a massive game at the time. It's going to be even bigger now. Lots of people want the next Elder Scrolls. This will scratch that itch. So it's going to be very popular. Lots of people are going to be playing it. Lots of people talking about it. It's been pretty well received as well from what I've seen. And to be fair, the game is graphically quite beautiful. They've done a good job in remastering it. That's not something I'm disputing. I think it's just that the gameplay needs a little bit of an update. It needs a bit of modernisation. As much as I loved it at the time, going back from, you know, the likes of Elden Ring, The Witcher, and other sort of fantasy RPG games, I played quite a fair few of them, you want something with a bit of meat on the bone, you know? So it's also worth mentioning as well that because it's been developed in the East, that there's a layer of smog over everything that had to be modded out. And look how much nicer it looks once you've got rid of this horrible smog. It looks a lot more like the original game as well. Just brighter, more colourful. Don't make everything bleak and like a Chinese factory. Make it look nice. And that's not the last we're going to see of mods as well. Yeah, here's a good demonstration for the work that's gone into it. It's obviously looking so much better. And that's obviously a complete redesign as well. It's not just a retexture. They have put work into it. So it does look nice. Not disputing that. I'm just saying it's probably not worth it. Speaking of things not looking nice, the Oblivion character creator is still something to behold. Here is, of course, Sir Lancelot, looking as scary as ever. And of course, you can still create horrible abominations in the character creator. This is a feature that I'm glad has returned, making a hideous character and then everyone treating them as an unequivocal hero in the game is hilarious to me. And what else have we got here? Oh yes, the Pope died on the same day that the game was announced. Make of that what you will. I'm pretty sure he'll be in an Oblivion gate somewhere. Who knows? Also, one thing they did do is turn all the Argonians into Ron Perlman. I mean, look, what is going on here? I like an Argonian because they look goofy in the original. Now they all look like Ron Perlman. Oh dear. I don't know whether they all look like that, but it's strange. Also, Danny Trejo, of all people, posted a meme about having the adoring fan following him again, which I didn't expect, but there you go. Random bit of news. He also posted a song with the adoring... What's happening to the world? Also, I'm going to mute the music here because it might get copyrighted, but the glitches are still in the game because it's basically the same game. So yes, things will fly off into orbit and there'll be jank, there'll be ragdolling, there'll be weirdness, which I think everyone is sort of happy to see return because it's part of the rough around the edges charm that the original had. And people have been pointing out that the game crashes a lot as well. It doesn't run very well. I've seen lots of people saying that. And people are also saying that it's just how they remember. And they've even kept in the rather renowned voice acting double take where you can hear the lady say, oh, that wasn't very good, I need to do that again, or something akin to that. They've kept that in, it's still in the game. It's been remastered, so the failures have been remastered and they're better than ever. And another thing that's worth pointing out before I wrap up is that they've got body type 1 and 2 rather than male and female, and there was a mod on Nexus Mods which became the most popular mod, 400 comments, tons of paid Nexus Mod members using it and supporting it, and then it got deleted because ideological reasons. It was discriminatory against alphabet people, therefore bad and not allowed, and because the kind of janitors that run Nexus Mods are all
imperial criminal scum.
They can't allow this sort of thing to exist. So yes, it has been updated for modern audiences. Now you can play Body 1 or Body 2. Wonderful. How amazing. And you can't even mod it out. It's also worth mentioning as well that the Chinese translation has been banned on Nexus Mods because in the database of their codes, they have the original Oblivion male and female labels on things. And that's enough for the basement-dwelling nerds to say absolutely not and remove it, which is crazy to me. So yes, it looks like a reasonable remaster. I think that a game of that age should be a bit more updated, personally, before it becomes worth playing, but it does look beautiful and I'm sure it would be very nostalgic. However, I would advise everyone to wait for Skyblivion because I think it will have a better gameplay experience for pretty much anyone, whether you've played the Oblivion before or not. Also, it's got Skyrim, so you can play Oblivion through, have your Oblivion character, and then hop over the border to Skyrim and play that with the same character. How is that not cool? And in theory, if you've got the original games, it's free. So a bit of consumer advice, I suppose, as well as a little overview of this surprise thing that happened. And yes, whatever you choose to do in the end, I hope you enjoy it. And thank you very much for watching.